Hi guys, I'm so glad you made it here with me today for our lesson. I understand this last week we had 8 kids. That is awesome. And that was all in the upstairs. I am so excited. I wasn't there, but man, that's just, oh my goodness, it just makes me so happy that you guys are coming back to in person. We'll continue this summer to keep doing this series just online. And if you want to join me on Sundays at 9 a.m. for the Zoom, I would love to have you, but of course, being in person is so much more powerful. So if you can't make it to church on Sunday for the 11 o'clock children's church, make sure you get with me on Zoom at 9 a.m. Well, you guys, sometimes the future can seem so far away, and this last year has kind of been that way. We didn't know when we were going to get back in person, but it's hard to plan things, and it's been really hard to plan not knowing what the future was holding for us. But that's also the same thing for like when we're growing up. Like, what do we want to be when we grow up? There were so many different things I wanted to do. I wanted to be a beautician, and I wanted to be a police officer, and I wanted to be a mommy for sure. So I'm curious, what did you guys want to be, or what do you guys want to be when you grow up? We all have these great ideas about what is going to happen in our lives, and we can make plans, but I tell you what, God knows the best plan for each of us. So today, you're going to learn about God's amazing plan for Joseph. So stay tuned.
Famine, a time when there is not enough food to keep people and animals alive. Famines can be caused by lack of rain, wars, insects that eat crops, and bad storms.
Joseph was in Pharaoh's jail for 2 long years. Now, remember, 2 years prior, Pharaoh's cupbearer had been in jail, and he'd had a dream, and Joseph had told him what it meant. And Joseph asked the cupbearer, "Remember me when you go back to work." He said, "Make sure you mention me to Pharaoh. That way I can get out of this prison because I have not done anything to deserve to be here in jail." But the cupbearer forgot. Joseph stayed in prison for another 2 years. God was with Joseph. So even though it was hard, Joseph kept doing what was right. While Joseph waited, God sent Pharaoh a dream. In Pharaoh's dream, he saw 7 fat, healthy cows. Then he saw 7 skinny, ugly cows, and the skinny cows ate the fat cows. Pharaoh fell back to sleep and dreamed another dream. In this dream, 7 beautiful heads of grain were growing, and then 7 thin, withered heads of grain grew up and swallowed the healthy heads of grain. How strange! Pharaoh was worried. What could these dreams mean? Pharaoh called his magicians and wise men, and he told them all about the dreams, but the men had no answers. They had no idea what those dreams meant. Suddenly, the chief royal cupbearer remembered. Of course! Joseph had told him what his dream meant. And remember, Joseph asked him to remember him. Oh my goodness. Well, guess what? Now that cupbearer did remember. 2 years later, the cupbearer quickly told Pharaoh about Joseph, and he said, "Bring him here." Pharaoh must have just been so excited. Someone went to the jail to tell Joseph to shave and get cleaned up, and it was time for Joseph to see Pharaoh. When Joseph arrived, Pharaoh explained his problem. "I had a dream, and no one can tell me what it means. But I have heard that you can tell what dreams mean," said Pharaoh. "Listen as I read Genesis 41:16 to find out how Joseph answered Pharaoh." Genesis 41:16. "I cannot do it," Joseph replied to Pharaoh, "but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." So, Pharaoh told Joseph his strange dreams. He told him how about the cows, and he told him about the wheat, and he told him how none of his wise men could explain his dreams at all. Joseph said, these two dreams are the same dream. God sent the dream twice so that you'll know that he has made up his mind. First, God will send 7 years of great harvests, and there will be lots of extra food. But after that, there will be 7 years of famine when no food will grow. The famine will be so bad that everyone will forget the good years. Joseph went on, "Look for a wise man to put in charge of the land. This man should collect part of everyone's harvest during the 7 good years, and he should save up all that extra grain. Then, when the years of famine come, Egypt will have food and the country will not be ruined by the famine."
Pharaoh looked at Joseph. "God has told you all this," he said. "You are the wisest man around. I put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt." Pharaoh gave Joseph his royal ring. He made Joseph second in command. Joseph had trusted God while he was in prison, and now God was going to use him to help save people's lives. Joseph began to store grain all over Egypt. He stored so much grain during the 7 good years that he couldn't measure it. When the good years ended, the terrible famine came. Joseph sold grain to the Egyptians. People from other countries came too. They came to buy grain from Joseph. God's plan was truly working out to save a lot of hungry people. But this was just part of God's good plan.
Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to give you hope in the future. Jeremiah 29:11.